All right. Hello. Welcome to. God, man. Hold on. Hold on. Everyone, just hold on. Everyone, hold on. My battery's about to die. Everyone, hold on. So I'm trying a new format. So it's actually gonna be formatted. Let me. Guys, I hate this camera. I hate this camera. All right. Hello. I'm Anthony Renteria, also known as a lonely critic, and I'm lonely because I'm a critic. And that brings me to today. I just got out of my screening for Spencer, a film starring Kristen Stewart, directed by, let me pull this up, Pablo Larrain, music by Johnny Greenwood, which I will talk about a lot in a second, and then the cinematography by Claire Mathan. But yeah, so Spencer, what is Spencer? What is the movie Spencer? So Spencer is about Princess Diana, and it covers a couple of days of her life and the struggles that she encounters. And I don't want to say anything else because, as you know, or if you don't know, everyone watching, this is a non-spoiler review or slash impressions of Spencer. Just immediate reactions, just leaving the theater, and just spilling my thoughts out. So what did I think about Spencer? The biggest thing I want to talk about, well, there's two big things I think that this film does that is pretty phenomenal. The first one being Kristen Stewart. Like, she is, I mean, she's on a whole nother level now. And I mean, her performance in this film is just so, like, it's so captivating. Like I think I'm there with a lot of people where it's like, I think for a long time I disliked her acting, and I think it's because like she had this like lip thing that she would always like touch her lips or like lick her lips and stuff, um, and I always thought like maybe it was just like a nervous tick or something, and maybe it was. Like I don't really know that much about Kristen Stewart. Like obviously there's a whole like media side of stuff, but I normally don't pay attention or care about that stuff, so I don't really know what's been going on with her or her life. But as we all know, she was she was in Twilight for the I think it was 4 films or 5 films. And yeah, I mean after that, like, and I feel the same thing kind of happened with Robert Pattinson, where they were kind of pigeonholed as these certain character types, archetypes. Like actors get typecasted. But I've never seen Kristen Stewart like deliver a performance that really made me pay attention. I mean, there's a lot of films I haven't seen from her, so this watching this film really makes me want to go back and see all her other work. Like I know she's been working a lot in like the indie space, and there's a lot of films that I've heard about that I want to watch because the performance that Kristen Stewart gives in this film is like sublime. I mean, just thinking about this year, even if I had to go back to last year, I mean, I think this is like just a phenomenal performance. Like, there's no way she is not the best female performer this year. Because I mean, what she does here is it's so like interesting, and it's so weird because she doesn't feel like Kristen Stewart at all. Like, she completely disappears into this Princess Diana person, which I guess I should say off the top. I have no idea. I don't know anything about the royal family or whatever is going on in that. Like, I know the royals has always been like a popular thing with like paparazzis and media and like the press and all that kind of stuff. And then I know especially now off of the success of the Crown show that I always hear about. I imagine it's even bigger now. So I assume a lot of y'all watching are probably interested in the royal Princess Diana aspect. I don't really have much to say about that because I don't really know anything about it. But I will say, as someone who doesn't care or know or has no reference points, the film does a really great job of establishing. Like, I feel like I kind of know who Princess Diana is. I don't think this is it's technically like a biopic, but I think it's very telling in like the beginning of the film. It starts out with like a little tag that says a fable about a tragedy or something like that. I might have got that wrong. And that's not really a spoilers, but it's not really a spoiler. because it's literally the first frame. But I feel like that kind of establishes that maybe everything you see in here isn't 100% accurate. And I like when a filmmaker, gets in front of a film and it's like, all right, this is my interpretation of this person, or this is what I see this person as, and I think that's awesome. And I think what is shown here with Princess Diana is just so beautiful. Like it's so like she deals with a lot of things in the film. So if you know about Princess Diana, you probably maybe these things are true or not. But I think one topic and theme that I don't think is really a spoiler for the film is just the sense of her anxiety and her depression and her like she obviously has a bunch of issues going on. One of the major ones being like I mean it's pretty clear like a eating disorder, and that's probably stemming from her anxiety and her stress and her depression, and who knows how many other things are going on uh, because she's a very unhappy person. And I think this film really captures that, and it shows it in like such a uh, minimal way. Like the film's never screaming about it, and it feels very low key, and it just feels really like beautiful. Like it just feels like a beautiful, microscopic kind of look into her psyche and into her mindset without her really verbally saying everything. And I guess I will get into one thing is that I don't think the average filmmaker, not the average filmmaker, the average moviegoer would enjoy this movie that much. It is a very slow burn film. It's very, yeah, it's very slow paced. I mean, this is film with a capital F, cinema with a capital C. This is pretty artsy. So if you're not a fan of movies that have the long tracking shots of characters running through fields, if you're not a fan of the very slow, meticulous zoom ins or zoom outs, or like it's very staged, and I like that. So if you like those kind of films, I think you'd like it. I mean, if you know anything about the director who did the Jackie film with Natalie Portman before, I'm sure that if you like that film, you'll probably enjoy this. And if you like very slow burn character studies, and I guess slow burn with no real big explosion at the end. This isn't some action film or anything like that. So I guess I'll get that out of the way. Average moviegoers, I guess it'll depend on how much you love the royal family and how much you love Kristen Stewart. Because if you love both those things, I think you'll have a great time watching it, because I think it offers an interesting lens into that thing. Just me imagining the royal part, I imagine this is a unique take on it because of how it's crafted. It is very art house, and I think it's very psychological. And I haven't seen The Crown, but it doesn't look very psychological in my perspective, just from the clips I've seen. That looks like in your face kind of drama, where this is very internal and almost what is the word? Nightmarish, I guess, and dream-esque kind of internal investigation of a character. And those are my favorite parts of the film, is when it kind of breaks reality and you're seeing people's fear, or her fear and her ideas kind of metamorph or kind of come to life in horror. Like there's some moments in here that I thought were stunning, where it deals with her psyche in that way, and it really makes you feel like you're in her perspective. Which so if you're into the royal stuff and you want to like an interesting biopic into her life, I think this is it. If you love Kristen Stewart, you have to watch this film. This is like, but yeah, and if you love Kristen Stewart, then you have to watch this movie. This is Kristen Stewart just at a whole nother level. Like, if she is not in the Oscar conversation for this role, we have a problem. Because this is A tier kind of stuff right here. Like it is. Like I said it earlier, but I could not tell it was Kristen Stewart, like, at all. Every scene did not, like, at no moment did I see Kristen Stewart on the screen, which I think that is amazing, because I feel like Kristen Stewart, from just the films that I've seen from her, and then I think there was like a 5 to 6 year gap that I just haven't seen a lot of her films. So maybe she's been growing this whole time and I just haven't noticed, because I haven't watched enough of her performances. But from where I left off with her, like it's purely insanity to me. Like, oh my god, like she is knocking it out of the park. So that's awesome. The costume design in the films are awesome if you're into costumes and clothing like that. Like her and me, not really knowing anything about costumes or not being really interested in fashion. There's some outfits here that I was like, God, that is so beautiful, and it's like the kind of beauty that I think I would like, because it seems like a lot of the costumes were specific ones. I don't know if it's just how Kristen Stewart wears it, like her performance that she's giving when she's in these beautiful outfits and dresses. It makes them feel so sad and like so dark. The costume design is almost like another layer onto her psyche and her mindset. So I really love that. The cinematography is amazing. I love the shots. Again, this is cinema with a capital C. It's artsy. This is slow shots. But I think what it does is very nice. I loved the almost like restrained pullback vision. This is my first time I've seen Pablo. Was his name Pablo Larrain? Yeah, this is my first time seeing Pablo Larrain's work. And then the cinematography by Claire Mathan. I mean, it's gorgeous, and it has this like amazing vintage faded kind of blown out look, and I love that. Like, if anyone that knows me, if you listen to my podcast, Cineverm, film podcast, you know, I mean, I love film. I love the look of film, like the actual like film grain, and this film was obviously shot on film. How many times can I say film? So I loved all that. Just the texture of the image is just, oh my god, like I was having a great time. You know, like if you ever want to see me have a good time, put on some film in front of my face and I'll eat it all up. That's all I want in life is film. So the visual aesthetic is perfect. I guess one other major thing I want to talk about, because I'm already in the 13-minute range here, so I need to speed this up. The music by Johnny Greenwood. Okay, so if you've heard me talk about Dune, then I proclaimed that Hans Zimmer's score in Dune was the best score of the year. I have to take that back. Because what Johnny Greenwood does in this film, and if you don't know who Johnny Greenwood is, then you need to start looking him up, because this dude is, I mean, he's been doing a lot for a long time. I mean, he's like one of the key members of Radiohead. He's been doing scores for I think Paul Thomas Anderson for a very long time, and he's been doing a lot of other scores for other filmmakers. And he's just like consistently strange. Like his scores have always been very strange to me in a nice, interesting way. Like it's almost like experimental, ambient, very anxious kind of sound. And what he does in Spencer, this film specifically, I mean, it blew my freaking socks off. Like his score in this is just fascinating. Like the way he uses, like, it's like the melodies of like jazz and pianos, and then like almost like a small, I need to start hanging out with some like musical people so I can, actually talk about this stuff. But the way he uses like stringed instruments, almost like as a little mini orchestra, but it feels like it's stabbing into you. The score just is just completely in tune with Kristen Stewart's performance. Like, seeing Kristen Stewart, hearing the score, you're inside her brain. And it's not happy. And you feel like you're going to have a panic attack. And you can feel what maybe it could feel like to have an eating disorder and being forced to eat, and then being judged about eating, and then being looked down upon because you're stressed, and then people judging you because you're depressed, and then people thinking, why can't you just be happy? What's wrong with you? Why are you so upset? These are things that people say to me all the time. People are like, why are you always sad, Anthony? What's wrong with you? Why are you always lonely? Why can't you just be happy like everyone else? But little do they know, I don't have anything there. So, like, I wish I had Johnny Greenwood music just playing in the background, because that would make me happy. That would make me very happy. And then people could feel what I feel. If, like, if there was, like, a little boombox behind my head playing out my emotive feelings, I think people would be like, oh, shit, Anthony's fucked. And I wasn't supposed to cut. Anthony's stressed out, And I think what Johnny Greenwood does in this score, and how he captures the sense of anxiety, I mean, it's glorious. Like, I cannot, like, I am so excited. I can't wait to stop recording this so I can just listen to his anxious sounds. And it's so beautiful, and it's like, oh my god, it just feels like an anxious orchestra. And it's interesting because, like, I've listened to Johnny Greenwood throughout his film composing career, and I think this is his best work. And it's just so crazy that I said the same thing with Hans Zimmer. Like, so it's just interesting seeing two titans in the film score technical field outdoing themselves. And then, like, I don't know, I listen to a lot of film podcasts, so like he supposedly Johnny Greenwood also did the score for this film that I'll probably be watching if it comes to Alabama, The Power of the Dog, which some people have said is even better. But yeah, the score in this film is to die for. This film shows a few artists at their heights of craft. Kristen Stewart with her performance, Johnny Greenwood with his score, the director with his visuals, and the cinematography, I keep forgetting, and the cinematography with Claire Mathan. Like, all four of those just are excelling wildly. And that's the best aspect of this film, is the technical stuff. So I think it's a great film. If you like more art house indie type of films, I think you will love it. It's very slow. If you love the Royals, if you love Kristen Stewart, if you love Johnny Greenwood, if you've been a fan of Pablo Larrain before, if you like Claire Mathan's cinematography, if you've been following her, then, I mean, this is obviously a film you have to check out. If you are interested in the Oscars or the Oscar race, like, I don't see how you can't see this, because there is no... I refuse to live in a world where Kristen Stewart doesn't get nominated. And right now, I would be extremely upset if she doesn't win the Oscar, because it is well deserving. I mean, this is her. She's running away with it, right? I mean, she has to. But anyway, so all that's all the good stuff. I guess the few negative stuff that I have is I mean, actually, I don't really have that much negative stuff. Like, now that I'm thinking, because during the film I was like, man, this is very slow burn, but I liked it. And I think that's just a personal thing for me. Like, I really love that kind of stuff. And specifically, there's some moments that were so heartwarming to me. I guess this is about to get personal, because I get personal. You know, I remember listening to Roger Ebert. I've been watching a lot of his clips and what he talks about criticism and, like, films are machines of empathy. And I think one thing I want to do is kind of talk about myself, because I feel like when you watch a film, and I guess I need to finish my thoughts, but another thought just popped up in my head. I read a book about poetry and, like, how to read poetry, and the book was kind of specifically saying, like, a poem is more about you than it is about itself, and more than it is about the writer who wrote it. So, like, you find a poem, now it is about you. It's not about the writer who wrote it, and it's not about what it is to anyone else, but it's what you display onto it. And I think one of my favorite parts of this film is just the subtle and beautiful look into a mother struggling to deal with, you know, this whole royal stuff, but then more specifically, also still being, like, a very loving and caring mother. There's, like, a few scenes where, you know, she's spending time with her two sons, and, like, I don't know, like, that was the emotional highlight for me. And I don't think it's really a spoiler, because I think, you know, obviously she has kids, or I guess maybe that was a spoiler. I don't know. She has kids. I think they're the two guys that are still alive. I don't know what's going on. All right, I just know one's name was Harry, so I think that's the dude that's a dude now, right? Yeah. But anyways, there's some very touching moments with her, just showing, like, that aspect of motherhood, but then also still dealing with your own things. And I don't know, I really appreciate that, and I feel like it's just an interesting look into this problem and what she had to deal with. And I think it's just beautiful. I think there should be more films like this, you know, focused on, I don't want to say, like, on motherhood, but, like, just in general problems that people deal with, and I guess specifically here, like, with what women deal with, and, like, how it kind of shatters them when there's all these expectations, and there's all these eyeballs, and then cameras, and like, pressure and responsibility, and, like, history, and, like, the past and the present and the future. Like, there's so many cool, interesting thoughts that's lingering in my head. So I think it's a great film. I'm gonna start wrapping this up. I would give it, See, my initial reaction after watching the film was an 8 out of 10. But now that I've been talking about it, now that it's like reeling, the whole emotional arc of the film was like reeling in my head, I want to give it a 9. But there's something like, I don't know. I guess I'm just weird because I always want like a huge payoff, like a huge cathartic moment. And I think that's what this film is missing, is that huge cathartic, and I don't mean huge in like an explosive action way or exciting way, but like huge in an emotional way. And I think writing, I think you can form the script a little better to have a huge moment, because I think there was a moment, but I don't think it had the emotional payoff that I wanted as a viewer. So that's what's kind of lingering in me, and maybe as I think about it more, it'll increase. But for now, I think I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It was a great film. Performances are amazing. Score, phenomenal. The direction and cinematography, out of this world. Costume design, set designs, all that stuff is great. I think it's a great film. It's just very challenging, it's very slow, and it's very internal. So that's my review of Spencer. Thank you so much for listening to me talk about this. I had a great time watching this film. And I guess some plugs. I need to get better at this. Plugging some stuff. I should have a written review of this, I think. I need to get better at like turning around my written reviews, because you know that's really important in this like little goal journey that I'm on, to kind of somehow brute force my way into becoming a film critic. So I think that means a lot, being able to write. But you know the thing that I don't want to do? I don't want to do like the news stuff. And then I have a feeling, because like I remember I watched a bunch of videos with like Alana Pierce, who's like she was a journalist for IGN and some other publications or websites before that, or after that, I can't really remember. But anyway, she was talking about like the majority of her job was like news reporting and like, you know, like little features and stuff. Like, I don't want to really do that. I mean, I would love to do like retrospectives or like deep analysis on certain films, or like ideas of films, or like genres of film, or history of film, or filmmakers. But the whole idea of like, you know, Kristen Stewart just broke up with her girlfriend, or just got married with her girlfriend, or whatever, you know, like I don't want to do that kind of stuff. So that's the only thing I'm like, damn, that would suck. But you know, maybe I'll set up a Patreon, and then I can survive on like ramen, because then I would just need like what, 30 bucks a month. If I could eat one pack of ramen, I may be onto something. More to come on that. But anyways, thank you for listening. Check out the review. I'll probably post that on alonelywriter.com and cineverm.com. Speaking of Cineverm, check out Cineverm, a film podcast, where me and my friend David review a lot of the like interesting older films, as we try to like find all the films to complete our canon film list. That's like kind of a little mini project we have going on. So check that out on all podcast platforms. And if you like comic books, check out Comic Verm, which is where I review comic books with my friend Jeffrey Carroll, and that's a lot of fun, because I've never been a comic reader. This is like my first time reading comic. You can literally hear the first comic I ever read, which was God Country, the second one being Watchmen, which just released. You should watch that. I mean, I gave that book changed my life, so I'm really excited about that. I remember I mentioned I was going to start another channel. I'm still toying around with it. I guess I would just say like it was going to be about NaNoWriMo, but it's like the 5th of the month. I haven't started. So it's just a lot. I'm trying to like, I think I tried to expand too much. Just doing these 3 things I think is enough right now. I just need to get used to this production quantity, and then especially with my job, you know, I work 6 days a week, 50 to 60 hours a week. So like I literally, when I'm not at work, this is what I'm doing. I'm watching one movie, doing a podcast about it, reading one comic, doing a podcast about it, coming to the theater, and then doing a video about it. That's literally my entire existence. You can so you can literally listen to every moment and watch every moment of when I'm not at work. That's my current life. And I think that other channel that I was gonna do was gonna, I'm still gonna do it. I just don't know when yet. Like I'm trying to catch up on all this stuff right now. It's gonna happen, because I guess I have a lot of interesting ideas that I want to tackle. So I'll stop rambling. Go watch Spencer if you're a fan of Kristen Stewart, Johnny Greenwood, the director Pablo Larrain. the cinematographer, Claire Mathos, or you like the royal stuff. And if you do like the royal stuff, let me know what happens, because I have a feeling something tragic happened. I mean, it says it's a tragedy. So yeah, let me know what that's about. I'm about to look it up. So everyone that knows what happens, you're probably gonna be like, oh my god, Anthony's gonna cry, because I am very attached to Princess Diana right now. Like I really care about, like, this film really made me care about her, because I just felt a lot of sympathy and empathy for her, because she's just dealing with a lot, and it just sucked that no one really cared about her, and like no one really saw her as this woman who wanted to just, I mean, she just wanted like to be a living person, you know. And I think that's probably like a, I mean, it's like, you know, dealing with fame, it's like dealing with wealth, it's like dealing with whatever thing you were, you know, kind of incarcerated by, that you're born into. I mean, even me, kind of being born into poverty and the lower income status, you know, we're all chained to whatever we're born into. And I think this film is an interesting idea and lens and investigation of that idea through, you know, this royal member of the family. So thank you so much. Sorry this went on so long. I hope you have a good night, and I'll see you next time.